Guys, welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As you come into the room, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. And for those that are watching on my TikTok, tap your screens or head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel where you can chat with our other listeners, or you can just enjoy the chat here on TikTok. We're also live on TheKempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. We normally don't go live on a Saturday evening, but so many of you have been tagging me and asking me to talk about the special edition of Project Runway that they included with the Housewives. I literally watched it multiple times today because you know I have to watch these things a few times. But before we do that, let's play some runway music. Right? Let's play some runway music. Let's get the energy up. It's Saturday. And if you're not out and about, especially here in New York, because it's cold and it snowed yesterday, our very first real snow. Luckily, it wasn't a lot. Thank God. Thank God. Hopefully this will melt away by the middle of the week or something. Guys, let's get the vibes and energy up. Happy Saturday. All this dancing before I have to speak. I need a co-host or something. Whew. Guys, welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. We don't normally go live on Saturdays because, I kind of try to have a life. But I had some dinner, so you know that I'm good to go. I had some dinner. I also posted a new story talking about Tristan Thompson's baby mama, Mara-Lee. She's got some words. She wants you to know that she's not a gold digger. So if you missed out on that, be sure to check that out. Also, don't forget, guys, we're live every Sunday evening recapping Portia's Family of Lies at 9:45 p.m. Eastern. The link is available already, so be sure to set your reminders. Join our texting community, textkempire.com. And don't forget, we watch it together on TikTok. Yes, we watch it together on TikTok at 8:25 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to follow me there if you haven't already. Everything is at TheKempire. Whew. Let's talk about Project Runway. So Andy Cohen is look, Bravo's pulling out all the stops to make sure that these housewives stay relevant, okay? Even though the Real Housewives of Orange County ratings they've hit an all-time low. An all-time low. But this was actually a really fun episode. You know, if I'm going live to talk about it, it actually was worth watching. And I've watched it multiple times. I used to love Project Runway, but then it kind of fell out because didn't they leave Bravo and then they went to Lifetime? I can't remember now. Isn't that what happened? I can't remember. You guys will remind me in the chat. Either way, I fell out. I was just like, all right. But then when I saw this episode, I was like, oh, maybe I need to get back into Project Runway. But this was a fun episode because the housewives from the Real Housewives of Orange County, the Real Housewives of Potomac, and the Real Housewives of New York were involved. And you know, one of my favorite housewives was there, Leah McSweeney. She actually was not as annoying as she is on the show. Even though if you're going to do the Real Housewives of New York, why not Sonia Morgan? Why not Sonia Morgan? I would have preferred Sonia. But I think they had a theme going where they wanted to kind of like have like someone that's a little bit older and then someone that's maybe a little bit younger. I love that Potomac had three ladies. And I think all the Potomac ladies looked great. We're going to break down the fashions. We're going to break down the drama. Let's be real though. If we didn't have the drama with Wendy, what would we be talking about? What would we be talking about? Let me just say thank you before I forget. Natalie, thank you so much for the super chat. Kempire is working it. Thank you. Now I'm out of breath. Thank you so much for the super chat, Natalie. I hope you're having a great new year. Okay. April says, I miss Tim Gunn. Me too. I mean, I feel like Cristiano is trying to fill that same energy. We know if you've been watching the show for a long time, you know Cristiano was a contestant and has gone on to design for many celebrities. He's okay for me. Tim just had a natural authority. I don't know if I get that. Even though Cristiano got Christina together when she was trying to deal with making a bag, and he was just like, focus on your client. What's going on over here? And Jerry, thank you so much for the super chat. Jerry says, Luann was giving body yaddy yaddy on the runway. First of all, they all were giving it. No matter the shape, size, or character, I felt like they all brought it, not necessarily the designers. So where do we begin? First of all, the introduction of the housewives. I love the energy of the designers, at least the designers who knew them, the black designers knew who the housewives were. And they were like, oh my God. Karen looked great. And I'm talking about their looks before they even got the looks from the designers. Sidebar, did you guys realize that the designers that did Karen's look and Giselle's look also did their reunion looks? You know, I had to bring receipts. And you know, I had to look it up because, you know, sometimes people say things to me. I can't automatically believe you guys. I'm sorry. I cite my sources, but I also check my sources. Just saying. So I had to go to Bravo and just double check to make sure. So let's take a look. We'll just fast forward, and I will be dropping the call-in link because I know you guys have a lot of opinions. We have almost 400 people in the room. Let's get to 200 likes. We're talking about Project Runway's special Housewives edition episode that they did. I just want to show you the looks that they did. So this was, of course, I was about to say Robin. Damn. I'm glad they didn't bring Robin, though. Thank God. Even though she would have been great. But, you know, personality-wise, whatever. So Giselle's look from her reunions on the left. And then this is the look that Aaron gave her for Project Runway. He also did her reunion look. I understand why she couldn't wear the look on the right. TikTok, I apologize. If you want to see what I'm showing, you can head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. But Aaron did both looks. And I really prefer the Project Runway look, but I understand why we couldn't get this look. First of all, her hair and makeup in the Project Runway episode was so much better. So much better. The outfit was so much better. And it's crazy because it's the same designer. but this was probably like his best look for Giselle. And the thing is, Giselle, you know, we talk a lot of mess about Giselle, but when we see Giselle and Wendy in the same episode, working on separate things, they're not even talking to each other. I mean, they've talked to each other. And mind you, this was filmed during the season of Potomac. So it was interesting to see their minimal interaction. But I have to say, Giselle was a lot more likable than Dr. Wendy Osefo. Can we all agree? She was a lot more likable. I liked the little funny moment she had with Aaron, and she worked the hell out of that runway. You know, we talk about Giselle and her fashions are terrible. But when she came out on that runway, I was like, wow. I was actually surprised at how well Giselle did that. She came out and I was like, wow. To me, she had a better runway walk than Karen. But in all fairness, I think Karen couldn't walk in that dress. So Karen also used the same designer for her reunion look and for from Project Runway. Honestly, I know that, you know, the judges felt, you know, black is not the right look for a reunion. But remember, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, the last reunion that we had, it was all black. This would have been perfect outfit for her to wear to the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. So it's the same designer that did both dresses. And she was such a fan. I didn't love her energy in the fabric store when she was looking for someone to cut her fabric. But she's a hell of a designer, though. Even though the judges didn't love her design, but I thought it was a beautiful dress, a beautiful gown. And she understood the assignment because she's also a fan. She's also a fan of the Housewives. Let me just say thank you to these super chats before I lose them. Thank you so much, Jerry, for the super chat. Giselle looked better on Project Run. Agreed. I think we can all agree with that. But I also understood why Giselle could not wear this look on the reunion, because technically that aired before. Not technically, it aired before the reunion. I mean, the reunion aired before Project Runway, so she couldn't wear this look on the reunion. Sadly, I feel like her hair and makeup look better during Project Runway as well. That's different makeup artists. The guy that does her hair on the show probably is the same one who did her hair for the reunion. And her hair wasn't bad, but in all honesty, I like her hair on Project Runway, and I like the outfit on Project Runway more. Very similar outfits, very, very, very similar outfits. But I think I like seeing her what's that word? I can't even think of the word, y'all. I think I like seeing the bust. We see a little bit more of her. I just felt like this was a little too flowy. And again, here, if this outfit, if Karen's outfit on the right was the color theme of the Potomac reunion, I would have preferred this gown over what she wore to the reunion. But she was showing leg, 50-something years old, something years old, and nearly 60. Karen looks good. And Karen and Giselle, for me, let's talk about the energy, the fashions. Look, we could talk about the fashions. None of us are fashion designers or stylists. Actually, next week's episode of Project Runway looks good with the fashion stylists, all them black fashion stylists. I might have to recap that one, y'all. It looked good. I'm not gonna make a habit. I have to have a life, y'all. Jerry, thank you so much for the super chat. I have to agree. Wendy needs to learn how to be professional. We're going to break this down, and you guys are going to have an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts as well. We will get to Wendy in just a second. But speaking of Wendy and talking about professionalism, Giselle and Karen, they just seem to have so much fun with the designers and their energy with everyone. And they even checked in on Wendy. I'm not sure. I kind of do know. No, the season for Potomac was already wrapped, but they hadn't filmed the reunion yet, because I remember that look that Dr. Wendy Osefo had when she was here in New York. It was around her birthday. This elephant brain. I'm so mad at myself. The things that I remember. Oh my goodness. So I have to say, I enjoyed Giselle this episode. This is a Giselle that we loved in Potomac in the early seasons. She's just fun. She's funny, even though, there were some remarks where she was like, men think about me all the time. Giselle. But she knows what's going to get us talking. Giselle, damn you. And I also loved Karen being there. Before we get to Wendy, because I'm going to have a long tirade on Wendy. Let's just talk about the other looks. Okay. So this is a picture that, Bravo, Project Runway, make these looks available on your website so it's easier for people like me to find and talk about your shows. Thank you. So by now, if you watch the episode, you already know that poor Gina, designer, lost. And you can see why. I didn't mind the look. It just seemed a little sloppy. I love Gina, though, in this episode, because when Wendy made that poor designer, Christina, cry, Gina was out there kneeling with them. She's like, people still smoke? People still smoke? And obviously on the right, Countess Luann, first of all, there were so many little moments. I don't know if you guys pay attention, maybe because I watched it multiple times. If you pay attention, there were so many little moments of Countess Luann. You're like, these housewives, to be around them, I'm telling you, there's a level of crazy you have to be a real housewife. Seriously. But when the judge said, you really made a dress for a countess, she was like, thank you. You are no longer a countess, Luann. You gave that up for D'Agostino, Tom. You gave that up for him. But her look, first of all, let's talk about her look when she came onto the show, that white look that she had. Countess Luann has been looking great since she's given up alcohol and gave up Tom. She's been looking great regardless. She looked great coming onto the show. And she looked great in this outfit. Do I think that it deserved to win? Honestly, no. I liked it. And it definitely was one of the best. I don't think it deserved to win. To be honest with you, I preferred Karen's look. To be honest with you. And if we're talking about Real Housewives reunion looks, I felt like it really hands down went to Karen. Because that was a housewife reunion look to me. And I didn't know in the Real Housewives of Orange County that they don't wear gowns that go that are on like floor length, like gowns. I didn't know that. Again, I'm not that into Orange County. We really just started getting into it. But I felt like, and I'll bring her up too. Where's my picture of that darling? Do I have her here? I must find it. I have it somewhere. Oh, here it is. Shannon, if you did not, I know Shannon is kooky and all get out, y'all. Shannon is kooky. And if you thought that was just a character that she plays on TV, no, that is who she is. I loved seeing her interaction with the young designer. And at first I was like, I don't know where this dress is going. But then when it came out, to me, this really fits her. This really makes sense for her. But at the same time, he's giving sexy and, showing off her legs. But she was like, I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to wear 2 Spanx. She is so kooky. But so is Gina. Gina was out there with the girls trying to comfort Christina. It's like, wait, people still smoke? I enjoy Gina in this moment. Guys, if you just joined us, we are talking about the special Real Housewives edition of Project Runway that happened this week. So many of you have been hitting me up about it. So I said, let's go live. Let's talk about it. I will be dropping the call-in link for you guys to call in. Let's get to 200 likes. We're almost there. We're at 192. And I know you're like, why are you asking for likes? Because it matters for the channel, y'all. It matters. It lets YouTube know. It lets Google know that you're interested in what we're doing here. And that helps support the channel so we're able to continue to keep the lights on. All right, let me just get to some of these super chats. Dana, thank you so much. Dana says, Giselle and Karen's interaction was lighthearted. I like seeing that. Also, I liked Shannon's energy during that episode. I agree. Awesome Blossom says, Wendy's makeup and hair are bad. Giselle and Karen were great in the episode. Wish this Giselle was on the show. And that's how Giselle was in the early years. Thank you, TT26. Did Mia quit RHOP? That's the word on Twitter. I don't know. We don't know yet. Stay tuned. Look, stay tuned. All right. I think we hit it. Yeah, we did. I'm going to drop the call and link, guys, in just a second. But one thing I didn't tell you guys, a new episode of my podcast is available. I talk about a lot of things that I don't talk about anywhere else. Kempire Radio on all major podcast platforms. Find your links at kempireradio.com. Again, be sure to check out the podcast and don't forget to rate and review because it does matter. It does matter. And of course, be sure to join our Texan community, and shout out to our Team Kempire Royal Court members. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com. Shout out to everyone in my TikTok chat. Keep tapping your screens. We're talking about Project Runway, a show I haven't watched in a very long time, but still is very good. Still is very good. All right, let's get back into these looks. We have to talk about this situation. Hold on one second, y'all. We got to talk about the Wendy Osefo situation. Lord have mercy. So Wendy, first of all, looks great. I love the looks that she was giving us before, she got her actual look for the runway. I think Wendy, Happy and Ness look great. Yes, she was talking about it in this episode. Yes, she was talking about it. She wanted, and I love the fact that when I rewatched this, I do remember her saying to Christina that she can wear pants. She asked her, can we do pants? And Wendy just kind of was like, yes, we can do, whatever my thing is, you're the client. And the thing is, when you do have clients, there are clients that are like this, that are very indecisive and aren't very clear. Wendy wasn't very clear. But then if you rewatch the episode, Wendy says a couple of times, yeah, pants are okay. Pants are okay. But I think Wendy was thinking maybe if you were going to do pants, do them a little bit more fitted. I did not like the bottom half of this outfit. But I also didn't love Wendy's energy. I didn't love her energy. When she was in front of the judges, she was like, oh, I wanted to have a dress. But girl, we have you twice saying on the show, yeah, pants could work. Pants could work. Exactly. Tina says Aaron did pants too, but he did them right. Damn, the shade. Look, the shade. Let me just bring that picture up so people know what you're talking about. So Aaron did both of these looks. He did her reunion look as well. He did. Look, I'm not going to say he did them right. I just feel as if she could have did it a little bit better. I like the texture. I like the color. I think she could have did a lot more. I think one of the things that Wendy did say is that she could have showed off her legs and butt a little bit more. And that little train, whatever, at first it was supposed to be a scarf. I don't know if Christina needed to cry because, I get real when people start crying on these shows. I was like, all right, I don't know if that needed to happen. Simply says Christina also asked Wendy specifically if it needed to be addressed. Wendy said, no, it doesn't have to be addressed. You're right. She did say that. But then Wendy sort of changed her mind later. She changed her mind later. And in all reality, guys, when you remember, this was a whole, client, challenge. So clients will change their minds on you like this. Clients will be like, oh, yeah, I was talking about pants. And it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me, y'all, if producers told her to do that. Because what else would we be talking about? But then again, if you know Wendy Osefo, Dr. Wendy Osefo, honestly, she came across unlikable in this episode. And I say this episode, but she came across unlikable during last season too, and her first season. I'm just starting to think this is who Dr. Wendy Osefo is. I hate to say it, and I really was hoping to, love the moment because Dr. Wendy Osefo has the new body. I did not expect to be like, oh, God, here we go, Dr. Wendy Osefo. M Dragon says, Dr. Wendy did nothing wrong. Look, guys, remember, this is a reality show. It's not about wrong or right. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. But I don't think she did anything wrong, but she also wasn't very clear with what she wanted. If you wanted a dress, you have to remember, of course, some of the other designers that actually watch the reunions understand what a reunion look looks like. That's why with Shannon's designer, she got exactly what she wanted because she was clear with what she wanted. Wendy wasn't. So she got something that she wasn't happy with, and you could read it all over her face. Even at one moment, Giselle was like, well, Wendy, you gave her that face? No wonder she's crying. When Giselle met with her designer, she was very clear about what she wanted. The designer kind of implemented that and was like, yes, here we are. This is what you're going to get. Wait, did I not pull a picture for her? I did not pull a picture, did I? Hold on. I thought I pulled a picture for I need a picture for this woman. Oh no, I did. Here it is. I almost forgot about her. How could I almost forget about this one? Oh, Lord. Leah. So Leah wanted, Leah had her own ideas about what she wanted, and I'm glad the designer completely ignored her. Coral completely ignored her and was like, I think this is going to look great on her. The judges did not necessarily love the color on Leah because they felt like it would wash her out. But I thought Leah looked great. And I don't love Leah, but I'm a straight shooter too. I've been said that Leah is a beautiful woman. Is she great for the Real Housewives of New York? Hell no. Get her off my show. But I thought she looked good. In this pose, it's a little awkward. But I didn't mind this look. I thought this was actually a good look. This was one of the better looks. And honestly, I wish Countess Luann's look was longer. I think that was the first thing that stood out to me. I was like, I don't love the length. I want the length. It's sort of like in between. This is a reunion. We want gowns. I want that to be flowy. Luann owned it though. Luann had a great look. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She gave us a really great runway walk. The judges did get it right. Gina's designer had to go because she dropped the ball on this look. I think it could have been a little bit more tailored. Look at us, like we're fashion designers. Like we're fashion designers. Oh, Ricky says no. Leah's dress was a no for me. But Ricky, why? Look, why? I thought it was actually one of the better ones, to be honest with you. All right, let me drop the call-in link because you guys have a lot of opinions in the chat. Hold on, let me drop the call-in link. Awesome says Karen had the best look. I feel like Karen had the most on-point look for a Real Housewives reunion. And I kind of feel like Luann's look, if I can find Luann's look, I feel like Luann's look, I get what she was trying to do, but it also still feels a little undone. I don't know if she should have won. It still feels a little undone. All right, let me drop the call-in link. Let me drop the call-in link. And as I do that, guys, if you just joined us, we're recapping this week's episode of Project Runway, the special Real Housewives edition. Andy Cohen was a special guest judge as well. And of course, Andy, being Andy, asked, what did Karen think of Giselle's look? What did she think of Giselle's look? Lord. I can appreciate him producing television. You could tell he is a producer. You could tell he's a producer. All right. Let me just say thank you. Krista, thank you so much for the super chat. Just saying hi and supporting. Love y'all. XOXOXO. No, not Gina's look. Damn. Thank you, Krista. Oh my goodness. I liked Gina though. I have to say all the housewives were very likable. The only one that wasn't likable was Dr. Wendy Osefo. And I don't know why I was surprised by that, but I was surprised. But then again, we have to also keep in mind, was this a producer situation? Did they intentionally make this particular situation happen to make the episode interesting? It wouldn't shock me. Guys, don't forget tomorrow we will be live on my TikTok at 8:25 p.m. Eastern to watch Portia's Family of Lies, as we've been doing for the last few weeks. And right after, we will be doing our recap of the show here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, be sure to head on over to Kempire Daily on YouTube and set your reminders so you don't forget. And also join our texting community, because I will be texting you before, so you know that we're coming. Libra says, "Why were you surprised, Kempire?" I don't know. I just thought maybe she's just giving us a certain energy on the show and she's different. I don't know. All right. We got a lot of people backstage. Guys, we have over 700 people watching. Be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Thank you in advance for supporting. TikTok, what's going on? New Vinyl says the color was a no on Leah. I can see why the color on Leah might not work. However, I just thought it looked great. I thought it looked great. And I'm not a fan of Leah. Okay. Mocha's just asked me the question. Kempire, did you watch The Ladies Who List Atlanta? I did watch it. And I'm on the fence about recapping it. So I posted a poll on the Kempire Daily community tab to see what the community says. Should we recap it? Should we not recap it? Robin's already acting a fool on that show. No, not the same Robin from Potomac, but a different one. All right, let's get into some of these callers. All right, Obi, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Obi?
Hey, Camps.
How are you?
So, I have a lot to say. But, one thing about me is I can actually, literally remember everything word for word if I want to. Okay? Oh. Okay, so let's start with Luan. So, Luan's dress looked really exotic. Like, I agree with you. It wasn't, more like reunion housewives kind of look. But I really like it. It looks like a runway, That designer belongs on Runway Fashion Weeks. That's what I'm going to say. So, in terms of Wendy, so remember when she was working with that designer. First of all, she was telling the designer, "Oh, I could look good in anything. I could look good in a pants. I could look good in a dress." She was saying all sorts of things, but then the designer got really excited, and then she was like, "Can it be a dress or it can be a suit?" Wendy said, "It can be whatever you want it to be, but if you think you can make a suit, then yeah." So to me, it was seeming like she was kind of agreeing with the designer and she was going, following her thought process and she was open to it. But then at the end, when the designer says, she says, if you can make a suit, like she didn't say if you think you can make a suit, but then she said what Wendy said was if you can make a suit, then that would be acceptable or whatever she said. But then Wendy was looking at her like, did you say something else? Or I feel like I remember that conversation going differently.
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't like because she wasn't lying, but then Wendy was trying to make it seem like there was a different conversation that went on. Because I went back to watch it again and what she said was actually true. So I don't know what's going on with that. I guess what you said could also be true in the sense that it could be produced because I feel like maybe there was an outside conversation that we were not privy to. So yeah. Giselle, the pink Colette jumpsuit with one arm that she thought should actually be both arms, which says a lot about Giselle's fashion style once more.
Can you imagine this was two arms? My lord.
Like, seriously, I don't know. But seriously, I don't even understand why she didn't just go with the first outfit because that first outfit was really, really good. Like, she should have just gone with that outfit to the reunion and it would have been a statement, But remember, Kempire, as the one that gave you the tea on the fashion designer actually being the same person on Project Runway. That was from me.
Was it you? Trust and believe I get a lot of people that text me.
Yeah, I don't know why she ended up wearing that second dress because it definitely.
Well, remember the timing. This episode just aired. She couldn't wear the reunion look on. She couldn't wear the look on the right during the reunion because this episode hadn't aired yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because they did this episode before the reunion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the one she ended up wearing still ended up looking like a thrift store Baptist church misses 94% of clearance rack hot pink mess. And I'm going to live with that. Bye.
Bye, Opie. Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Curvy Jersey, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Curvy Jersey?
Hey, Kempire. How you doing?
Oh, how are you?
Good. Calling from New Jersey. So I thought this was a great episode. I used to watch Project Runway back in the day with Tim Gunn, and his favorite saying was "Make it work, make it work." And so when they transitioned to Lifetime and now they're on Amazon, I just completely forgot about the show. So I guess this episode, one of the plans was to bring people like myself back to watching the show. And now I may start watching the show because I'm back and being invested because I really enjoyed this episode because of the familiar faces. So I liked, of course, the Grand Dame was beautiful in her gown. I think Cassidy, I think that's her name. She did a great job with that, as well as on the reunion look. I think she did an awesome job. Giselle looked fabulous. I believe the designer did a great job on both occasions, but the Project Runway look looks better to me.
Yes.
So I don't see anything wrong with repeating looks. So I'm just curious to know why she could have worn that to the reunion,
No, technically you can't. Television, they don't want any surprises, especially with Project Runway. You don't want to see the look before the world sees the look. So that's definitely why they didn't do that. And that's it would have been perfect, but
man, because that to me is like a waste of a look. Because especially since this, Giselle fashion choices has been kind of sketchy. It would have been good to see her in that aspect. So yeah. Now Leah, I was disappointed to see Leah. I didn't want to see Leah on the show because I am not feeling Leah right now with her animosity towards Ebony. And so that social isolation, bullying tactic, according to the streets, I don't like that. So I was surprised to see Leah, but I did like the dress. And you mentioned earlier that maybe the producers were doing something behind the scenes because Leah was saying she wanted butterflies on her. She wanted to look like a Disney princess. And then this comes out. So I'm like, okay, were they doing that to trying to really sabotage that designer? Like, that type of thing. But
have you met Leah? I don't know if that was production or if that was just Leah being extra.
Yeah, and her fashion also is kind of sketchy too. So, and it's she just next. So Shannon, she was getting on my nerves a little bit because she was because Kempire, she was acting like she was 16, like she was asking for her spray tan. She was telling them I'm gonna lose X amount of pounds in like 2 days or a day. I'm gonna wear 2 girdles. I mean, she was just going on and on. And I was like, come on, Shannon, like, what's going on here? And so Bones did a good job considering what he was given. So I like the fact that Bones tried to, do something different with the feathers on the sleeve and, the different hemline. So that was good for what it was given. And Gina, I felt she was all over the place too. Like ugly is ugly. Like, so when you saw the sketch that the designer was proposing, you should have stepped up and said something about it. Like, Gina, you would have not worn that to any OC reunion. You wouldn't have even worn that to a party in the OC. First of all, you have shoe boots on. You have shoe boots on. Why do you have on shoe boots? That doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. I'm laughing. I'm sorry. Why do you have on shoe boots?
Are you okay?
I'm sorry. I'm laughing. It just occurs to me right now. She has on shoe boots for a reunion. And you didn't advocate for your designer, so you set her up to go home.
That set her up.
They set her up to go home. But to Dr. Wendy Osefo, I do like Wendy Osefo. I do. I just felt like Wendy, this was her first time, for what I can recall, and maybe I'm wrong, Kempire, but this is the first time that she's been exposed to outside of Housewives. Like, how Bravo, I mean, in terms of the Universal family, like I haven't, remember when BravoCon used to happen and it was, what's her name? Karen and Giselle will go to like the different conferences and meet other housewives and all these things and network and all that. I don't know if this is Wendy's first time doing that, but it seems like it is. But if that's the case, I think she was kind of nervous. I'm not making excuses, but I just do think that Wendy, she messed up. she messed up. Because after I saw the episode, I said, Dad, really, Wendy, you had to do her like that? Because you weren't being honest about how you wanted to be seen. Like she said it herself, like she, I want to show off happiness. And she also said that she had, plastic surgery on her butt. So that, and she was open to, whatever. So she wasn't firm in saying, I want a gown. She wasn't. So she allowed the designer to use their creativity to, do a look. Yeah. I will say about the designer though, I would have done a fitted pant, if anything, or I would have done like a sexy shorts or something to show off Wendy's legs. Like a shorts, those Dolce & Gabbanas back in the day. They used to have the blazers with the shorts, and it would be really, really short and everything. Do something different and creative. You could have done that, and that would have been something different for the reunion. But I just felt like Wendy is not a good look for her, and I don't know if that's going to make her become a villain next season. And lastly, I do understand that Luann won because the construction of her dress, it was really detailed, and then the designer was asking about the hemline, and I just wish it was longer, but I could see why Luann won. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry for that long laugh. It just occurred to me that girl had on shoe boots at the reunion. I'm sorry.
No problem. Have a good night. Bye. All right. Guys, we're going to take some more callers, but callers, let's not run through the entire cast. Let's, the highest thing that you want to talk about, the most important thing that you want to talk about, let's talk about that just because we have a long line backstage. All right. Dr. AJ, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Dr. AJ?
What's going on, Kempire? How are you today?
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So first of all, I just want to say the only people that I watched on this was Potomac. Okay, so I didn't know any of the other women, but here's the thing. What intrigued me was when all the women came out, you noticed that everyone was crazy about Karen and Wendy, and no one was here for Giselle. And it made me feel so good. I was like, no one's checking for her, and she felt that, and I needed her to feel that. So the black girl, when she was yelling in mood, sweetheart, we can't do things like that. Do better. When it comes to Wendy saying that you could do a suit, people are forgetting. Number one, this was a challenge to where the designer needed to listen to her client. So even when she said, yeah, suit is fine, that doesn't necessarily mean that it had to be a pantsuit. It could have been a skirt, a short skirt, because she did say she wanted to show her body, whether it was her breast, her butt, or her legs. So we're putting all this attention on Wendy, but we're not putting on Christina, whatever her name is, for her to listen to her client. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's so funny how we're paying attention to how Wendy was. And to be honest with you, Wendy could have flipped out and did everything else. She was just, even though she was indecisive, she was just voicing how she felt, and the girl didn't listen. So, I can see people how they're saying Wendy was doing too much versus the designer, but at the same time, she needed to listen to her client. Mm-hmm.
And also in the real world, clients will change their mind.
Exactly. And not all clients are going to be easy. So when it came down to it, Christina ultimately played the victim at the end because she should have listened. But see, here's the thing. If you watch Project Runway on a normal, in the past challenge, she had immunity with the girl who made Luann's dress. And see, she didn't care because she had immunity, and this is her karma. Okay? Because she felt like that she could do less than because she had immunity, and she let Luann do her thing, being like, hey, it's all right, do what you do. And this came back to bite her in the end with how she treated her. So, at the end of the day, everyone looked great. I never cared for Giselle's fashion, and it makes sense of why she would like the old man's fashion for her old fashion. So I enjoyed the series. I really did. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. AJ, for calling in.
All right, Kempire. Have a good one.
Bye. You guys are hilarious. Don't forget, guys, we do welcome differing opinions. You don't have to agree with myself or other callers. So if you have a different opinion about the latest episode of Project Runway, the special Real Housewives edition, if you're watching the replay, I want to know your thoughts. Who was your favorite designer and favorite look? And what do you think about the interaction between Dr. Wendy Osefo and Christina, the designer? And based on what Dr. AJ said, it does benefit us to pay attention to what has happened on the season. This is episode 10. So they've already gone through 10 weeks of things happening among the crew. But I do want to let you guys know, I did a poll on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. Almost 500 people voted. My question said, whose side were you on, Wendy or Christina? I gave you the options of Dr. Wendy, Christina, and both were wrong. Very close. Very close. People are saying 38% Christina, 36% Dr. Wendy Osefo. And at 26%, both were wrong. So it was really close. It wasn't very, you will let me know, replay crew, what you thought. You will let me know. All right, let me get some more callers. Tawana, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, Tawana?
Hi, Kim.
How are you?
Good. So I want to say that I really enjoyed this episode. I hope they do this again next season. I do agree with Luann being the winner. Karen's dress was beautiful from the front, but the back kind of was messed up, and her designer was still sewing when they were going to the runway. And Luann's designer had to help her.
Yeah.
I think that the girl that did Dr. Wendy's dress, like the pantsuit, she kind of overreacted. Because I don't think Dr. Wendy is mean. I think people forget that she's a professor in a political commentary. So when she speaks, she's very firm in her speaking. So she wasn't being mean. I really love Shannon in this episode. It was so funny when she was running around looking for her Spanx. It was totally a Shannon moment. If you watch Orange County, she freaks out over the littlest things.
I love
and I really love how her designer Bones was hyping her up. He was like, where my girl Space at? She need her space.
I did not expect that interaction to be so great. And I was just like, oh, that was such a really great. I hope she hires him to do her reunion look for this year.
Yeah. And I could just imagine, could you imagine if Ramona or Vicky was there? Like, not just one designer would have cried, the whole production would have cried.
We would have cried.
And I live for Andy too. He looked so handsome on the runway when he had his glasses on and he was commenting. Yeah. Yes, I love drunk Andy.
You know what? Goodbye, Tawana. I'm drunk Andy.
But this was a great episode. I really hope they do this next season. But good night.
And we will recap it just that one episode.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh, I wish they had Marlo on there. Could you imagine Marlo or Heather Dubrow? Oh my God.
Okay. Thanks, Tawana. Wait, let me just say thank you for these super chats. Pamela, thank you so much for the super chat. Sending you some love for the new year. Sending it right back to you, Pamela. Thank you so much for the super chat. Natalie, thank you so much for another super chat. Did you see Wendy's designer shake her head right in front of her? The girl was looking a little fragile there. The interaction between both of them was very uncomfortable to watch, but great reality TV. Because if we didn't have that moment, it would have been a cute episode, but then, you had that little friction. You need that friction, right? Okay. And this comic sends me out. Trey says Kempire needs to play the Academy Award music to let callers know to wrap it up. You're right. I'm probably just like. Guys are a mess. All right. Let's get to more callers. Jasmine, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, Jasmine?
Hi, Kempire. Thanks for having me back.
Of course. What are your thoughts?
I was so surprised you were recapping it. This was literally the last thing I watched before I went to sleep last night because I was catching up. Yeah. And I saw the notification. I was like, get out of my head, please. But I had the opposite reaction to Shannon. I kind of felt sad because she was really tearing herself down, like the negative talk right away. It was really disheartening to watch. I was like, come on, Shannon. I get you can make a joke at your own expense here and there, but it went on a little bit too long. And I was appreciative of Bones on how he handled it. And you can tell he has kind of maybe retail experience or something because you never know what you're going to get when somebody comes through the door and they ask for your help. So I felt like he did a good job of handling her, and also that he had the options for her, whether he gave her what she wanted, but also what she needed, which was what she ended up getting. So I like that. And I felt like Christina and Wendy was a complete opposite. I think Wendy wanted a diva moment because I feel like she wanted options. Because when she was going through her consultation, I was thinking to myself, I said, do you want a bathing suit, Wendy? Because you want everything to be out. Like, why do you want everything to be out? Pick one. So it was kind of frustrating when I was watching it. In the moment, I was like, Wendy, we get it. And I think that because I'm familiar with the franchise and how she talks about her body and her plastic surgery, I'm kind of over it now. So hearing it again, I was like, oh, and if somebody who's not familiar with Wendy, they'd be looking at her like, okay, ma'am, like, calm down. So I think she was a little bit all over the place. She was indecisive and she did gaslight her a little bit. But I was happy that Christina A spoke up for herself. I didn't like the tears. I didn't like the storming off. Yeah. I thought that was a little bit over the top. And you can tell she doesn't have experience working. Somebody mentioned that in the show too. She doesn't have experience working with clients or getting feedback or anything. So that's all.
Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right, guys, don't forget a new episode of my podcast where I talk about some things that I don't talk about anywhere else and in a little shadier way. Be sure to check out Kempire Radio on all podcast platforms. And don't forget to rate and review because it does matter. All right, S, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, S?
Hi, Kempire. I'm good. I'm going to make this quick. So I'm really just going to stick to the Wendy situation.
Oh, damn.
Okay. Because you said one topic, so that's the one that's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So just to let you know, I am a Project Runway fan. I've seen every season, every episode, and I've been watching this season. So I know who this girl is, Christina. And I do believe she's really the one that kind of is the one at fault.
Okay.
But I'm also a little pressed that nobody from Atlanta was on there. I just felt like that was a moment. That could have been a moment, and it wasn't. But anyway,
I wonder why. I wonder why they chose what they chose.
I don't know. I'm hoping that nobody in Atlanta was available because I just can't imagine why the most successful franchise of all time had no presence. And like me as a fan, I've been waiting for an episode like this, so it's a little disappointing.
I think honestly. I know why. Because if I'm thinking about with my elephant brain, the timing of it, the contracts, they were in limbo. They were still figuring out the season. So I don't think they wanted to even have them participate. I believe that this was right around the time that they were in the middle of contract negotiations.
Okay, that makes me feel better, and that's probably why they had 3 from Potomac instead of 2 like the other ones. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so what my view is, so Christina, since I've been watching this season, she makes looks like that. She's the girl who wears the flowy, baggy clothes. And so when she met Wendy, I do believe, okay, Wendy forgot, or maybe she viciously, I don't know if she was vicious when she said, I didn't say, or I said I wanted a gown. I do think that was wrong for her to say she didn't say, even though she said it. However, she made it very clear she wanted to show off her body and she wanted fitting stuff. So even though she wasn't clear about whether it was pants, suit, or whatever, I honestly feel like she wouldn't care what it was as long as she looked the way she wanted to look. And because it isn't what she asked for, then it was like, I didn't want this. I wanted a gown. I honestly think that's what it was.
And she is the client.
Yeah, and she's the client, and she's allowed to be indecisive. And I feel like Christina, she's used to making clothes like how she made. And I feel like when she was open to a suit, she got in her mind, I'm going to make the same stuff I make every week because they love me. And Wendy didn't like it. And then she had a nervous breakdown. And I feel like she put that on Wendy. And that's not Wendy's fault. Because she was really, she couldn't even work. She broke down. And, that's unprofessional, low key. Like she didn't even bring it up. And then the next day when Wendy came in, she was like, how's your mood? I'm like, girl, how's your mood? Because you couldn't even work. So I just thought,
Yeah, I forgot about that part. That was a little awkward. Like, why are you asking about my mood?
Weird to me. And I feel like Wendy handled it well. So I'm going to just say this. I just started watching Potomac from the beginning. So I don't know who Wendy is. I don't have an opinion on her outside of Potomac. But I just felt like she was kind of just, I mean, yeah, I guess she wasn't like the warmest person, but I don't think that she was rude. I think she was being honest. And I do think she was even holding back. I feel like she was being nice about it too. I feel like she could have even been worse because that material is hideous. And she didn't say that. And she could have said that. So I don't know. I just feel like Christina just, if the pressure got to her, she took it out on Wendy. I don't like that she put that on Wendy. It wasn't mature enough to see that and apologize. But I do see what people are saying. You know, she did say you can make whatever you want if you want pants, but then she did turn around and say, I want a gown, which wasn't true. So, but yeah, overall, I still think it was the designer's responsibility.
Definitely. S, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. All right. You have a good evening.
You too. All right, guys. Don't forget, if you're just joining us, we're recapping the Project Runway special edition with the Housewives. We had Housewives from Orange County, Housewives from the Real Housewives of New York, and Housewives from the Real Housewives of Potomac. 3 Housewives from Potomac. And the big issue that a lot of people are talking about on social media is the fight between the designer Christina and Dr. Wendy Osefo. And I love the fact that we're getting different opinions about this. Let's get some more opinions. We have a couple of more callers that we're going to get to. JOM, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, JOM? Oh, okay. And there goes JOM. All right, Frank, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Frank?
Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Good. I have an opinion on Wendy. She's not one of my favorite housewives, but I don't think she did anything wrong in this episode.
Okay.
My mom used to be a dressmaker for quinceañera dresses, prom dresses. So anytime a customer switched their mind, it was kind of normal. So when I saw Christina just had a breakdown and start crying, I really thought she was doing the most. She really, really, really was.
I agree with that. I mean, I agree with that, but at the same time, I'm like, I felt like there was a breakdown in communication. But when you're thinking about the challenge being about a client,
yes,
I think that's going to happen a lot.
Could you imagine her working with Jane Fonda or Barbara Streisand? Like, they would break her apart.
Yeah, or Mariah Carey.
All right, man. Well, it was nice talking to you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Have a great night, Frank. All right, Kendall, I'm going to bring you up in just a second. But before we do that, I just want to remind you guys, don't forget to like the video if you haven't liked it already and subscribe to the channel. You're getting daily and consistent content here on Kempire Daily. I see someone in my TikTok chat says, Grail says she was passive aggressive. I guess she's talking about Dr. Wendy Osefo. She told her to do what she wants, and I think there was a breakdown in communication between the two of them. But if we go by, this is a client challenge. You're going to have clients very much like Dr. Wendy Osefo who don't necessarily know everything that they want, and then when you finally give them something like, this is not what I envisioned. They're the client, though. They're the client, and this is why I also feel like it. I feel like it's somewhat production. It might be. They're like the wizards behind the curtain. All right, Kendall, I'm gonna bring you up. What's going on, Kendall? Oh, you're muted.
Hello. There you go. Hi, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Thank you. I'm doing good. I'm on Wendy's side because whenever I went back and listened to the show again, when she said something about a suit, Christina, Wendy said, "Can you do a suit?" I mean, she questioned her right there. And then she told her that, normally I wear a gown. So in my mind, that would have been, hey, if I do good on this challenge, make her a gown, show off happiness and her booty, I'm going to be on TV and I'm going to be a recognized designer before the finale. It would have helped her immensely. And I just can't see breaking down and bawling about it because I'm sorry, she almost had a Janet Jackson moment there. Whenever Wendy turned, I thought Happy was going to pop right out of there. And Wendy's a beautiful woman. Why wouldn't you put her in a gown to showcase her?
Mm.
And if she was going to do a pantsuit or pants, I mean, Nina Garcia loves a pant. She absolutely loves a pant. Why not do like a big palazzo pant that looks more like a gown bottom instead of what she sent down the runway?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my take. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Kendall, for calling in. Have a good
night. You guys have a great night. Bye.
I love it when you guys call in and share your thoughts. Look, here are my final thoughts on this. You swayed me. You swayed me a little bit. I do feel that Dr. Wendy Osefo could have been a little bit more clearer, but this is what the challenge is. You have a client. Not all of your clients are going to be a Giselle or a Karen or a Shannon that are very easy to work with and that know what they want. And you're able to give them what they want. Remember, Christina doesn't have a lot of experience with she doesn't have any experience with working with clients. Aaron's the only one that has that experience. And you saw how well that went. It would have been interesting to see Aaron work with Dr. Wendy Osefo on how that would have went, because then we would probably have a different opinion of Wendy, right? We probably would be like, oh, wait, maybe it isn't the designer and it is Wendy. But either way, she's the client. And if she changes her mind, she changes her mind. You got to figure that out. You got to figure it out. Here's the thing. Christina gets away with the fact that a lot of us who are, we're talking about this. If you haven't been watching the entire season, we're looking at Christina as innocent right now because we don't know a lot about Christina, what's happened during the season. But you never know. And I think a lot of people that called in haven't watched the Real Housewives of Potomac. And they're like, I don't really know Wendy. So we all have our little prejudices and biases based on our history of what we know of these people. But either way, it's a show. It's not that deep. We can have a fun conversation about it. And I love the fact that we were able to have a fun conversation in our live chat on TikTok, on Facebook, and of course on Twitch and Twitter, guys. If you're watching the replay of this, I want to know your thoughts. Who did you think should have won the challenge? What do you think about the whole situation between Dr. Wendy and Christina? And who do you think is going to win Project Runway? And do you want to see them do a Housewives episode every single year? I think that they will. Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel, and shout out to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. Again, guys, don't forget you can become a member at TeamKempire.com. And of course, join our Texan community at TextKempire.com. There we go. TextKempire.com again. And don't forget, a new episode of my podcast, Kempire Radio, is now available. It's rightfully called New Year, New Boo. And you'll find out why I say that. Shout out to my moderators, as always, for allowing us to have a fun conversation in the live chat. And guys, let's continue the conversation in the comment section. Shout out to our replay crew. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will be recapping Portia's Family of Lies, and I'll decide whether or not I will be recapping Ladies Who List Atlanta. I already put a poll on our community chat. Go ahead over there and vote, and I'll decide. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow afternoon. Thank you all for being here. Let's get out of here. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Here in New York, it's cold, so stay warm for my fellow Northeasters, and anywhere else you are, stay safe. I'll see you guys tomorrow.